All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We are going through chapter 38, which is the first chapter in section 4. So we've made it through energy management, time management, lead gen, and now we are on to section 4 of the book, which is working with clients without burning out. So chapter 38 is working with sellers. How do you work with sellers without burning out? We're starting with that because sellers are a little bit less time consuming than buyers, but not always. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this chapter. Any questions or feedback, or just from your own experiences? How do you make sure you don't burn out when you're representing seller clients?
Well, I would love to hear what everybody else has to say because I am getting seller burnout because I've got six listings right now, and one's a big one where I have to be there for all showings because it's over 2 million and I'm
Wow.
burnt out. So if anybody has any bits of help, I'd love to hear it.
Well, I agree with the position you took in the book that you save more energy with sellers that usually in comparison to buyers. I definitely find that true.
Yeah, that's true. The asterisk there is if you have to do accompanied showings, then it can be more time consuming. But I've had a few listings like that over the years where I just, for whatever reason, I need to be the one of them is because I couldn't put a lockbox on because there was no place to put it because it was in the middle of downtown Boston. So I'm carrying around the keys in my purse. But yeah, it is. Welcome, Paul. Hi. Yeah, let's look through. I know we have some bullet points here in this chapter, which are my favorite questions to ask sellers. And this is to help you win more business, get more listings. So the other thing that's really important is showing enthusiasm. And that's something that I have gotten better at over the years, but in the beginning was hard to really kind of turn that on intentionally, especially if I was already going into the appointment tired or run down. Sellers want to feel like we're excited to be there and we're excited about their house and that their house is so special because it is. It's special to them. Hi, Arlene. A good group today.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. I'm good. So just so everyone knows, we are on chapter 38, which is working with sellers, specifically how to work with clients without burning out. So if you have any tips or tricks for working with seller clients, either going on the appointment or just working with them in future chapters, we do cover specifically like showings and open houses and that sort of thing. But what does everyone do when they're working with sellers to avoid burnout? Yeah, Arlene.
Basically, I have to prep myself. So, like, I make sure that I have as much information as I can before meeting them, so I don't feel caught off guard. And I kind of prep, like, what questions are they going to ask me? Make sure that I have the answers to them. So,
And
I
how do
try to
you,
just
what does your process look like for prepping all of that?
well, like. I'll go into the address. I actually also use AI with it, and I'll ask, chat like, as an investor, what is the best things that you can give me regarding this property? And I'll also, what is most of the time I'll know the neighborhoods. So I'll think to myself, um, what might they not think is real estate related, but just how convenient it is to walk to the parks and how this and comment on those with them. So I'm really bonding that I know the neighborhood,
Mhm.
not only just the house itself,
Yeah,
and make sure I know the locations for busing and transit and everything involved.
that's a really good point. That shows your expertise, and I'm sure it probably increases your confidence going into the meeting too. When I find that as well. The more prepared I am for a meeting, the more confidence I have going into it. Yeah. And I think shifting away from looking at appointments as presentations, I really don't love that terminology because it's not a presentation. It's just meeting another human and seeing if you're a good fit and if you can agree on pricing and if you want to work with them, if they want to work with you.
Exactly. And build the relationship as much as about the house, but it's also about their likes of why they bought it and what they actually found the most enjoyable features and sell the lifestyle,
Yeah.
with them and what they've learned over the years.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really helpful to be able to tell a potential buyer at an open house, like, yeah, they really love this feature here that you might not be able to see, but here's what it is and here's why they love it. And it's just something that they might not have thought of. I love it. I see we have a new face here. Hi, Claire. Welcome to the call.
Hello, I just found your book last week, so
Oh,
I
awesome.
do it.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you're here. How did you find it?
Um, browsing through like Amazon looking for real estate books.
I love that. I love that. And are you an agent as well?
I am. I'm kind of a bit of a hybrid. I'm also our brokerage's compliance broker,
Okay.
but I'm stepping back into uh, my own production after being away for a couple of years. So I was looking for some inspiration, and I'm really enjoying what I've gotten into it so far.
Awesome. I'm glad. Well, we are pretty deep. We started this book club just about a year ago, and we're pretty deep into the book right now. Today, we are going through chapter 38, which is working with sellers. And this chapter is focused a lot on the listing appointment itself, because future chapters will talk about the tactical, like doing open houses and stuff. So. And we have a pretty good group on today. So I'd love to hear more thoughts or questions around working with sellers in general through the lens of increasing your production, increasing your conversion rates while avoiding burnout. And I can ask a more specific question if that's helpful. Yeah, Paul, what you got?
Hey everyone.
Hi.
Okay, so a couple of thoughts here. One is, um, I remember earlier in the book, so you were talking about being strategic, like maybe don't do something that's an energy drain prior to a listing appointment. So that's being strategic. That would be maybe help with avoiding burnout. One other thing too is I have found that when I've tried to be more quote unquote productive and like stack things too close to each other, that becomes too stressful. So giving myself more time, like either in the appointment and then after the appointment, so that there's like a buffer, I feel like that's helpful. So being sort of less productive is more, I don't know, less stressful, I guess. And then once I have a client, what's been helpful for me is scheduling a weekly time to, I think that's on Tuesday afternoons. I have like a dedicated time each week to look at the neighborhood data and send them an email. And so it's like a proactive way of just being in touch with them and telling them what's going on in in and around what's going on with their particular listing. And so that helps relieve stress because it's just automatically in the schedule. So those are a couple of things.
Love it. That makes so much sense. You're right. I like how I say that like I didn't write the book. Um, no, but I love your suggestion of adding in buffer time. And I would challenge that it's not being less productive. It's probably making you more productive because you're not wasting energy on stress. I don't think people realize how much of an energy suck being stressed is.
Here, here.
So reducing stress, version 2 of this book, I'm going to do a chapter on stress. Reducing the times that we're the frequency and the duration of being in a stress mode is probably one of the most productive things that any of us can do because that frees up your energy to focus on other things, makes you think more clearly, you can problem solve better. It just solves a lot of issues. Um, and I've found that I do that too. I've done that in the past too, where I schedule things too closely together, and then if something runs long, it throws off the whole day, and then I start freaking out, and it's just it doesn't make sense to do it that way. It's so much better to give yourself breathing room, especially when working with your clients, especially when trying to win new business, like your listing and buyer appointments. Give yourself plenty of time. Like there are, I'm sure you guys have seen this, there are kind of two schools of thought when it comes to listing appointments. Some people think you should be in and out within 45 minutes to an hour. And that's the most productive thing you can do because then you can go on, 4 appointments in a day. I would never do that. That sounds awful. I would rather give myself 2 to 3 hours. Not that I would always need that, but I want to have enough time. If the person I'm meeting with wants to take more time, I don't want to have to end the meeting early because of my schedule. I'd rather have that baked in and make them feel like they are the priority because they are the priority. So that's my 2 cents. I'm very much in this camp over here around have your appointments be as long as they need to be. Arlene, what do you think?
I was thinking the same thing because, like we do try to really juggle so much in a day, but I always try to make them feel that they are like the only one right now. And, you know, I make sure my phone is off. I make sure that, I have no interruptions and distractions, but I also make it that their needs is what we're gonna really concentrate. And I'm on their time frame and I'm on their side. It's like, let's do this together and let's get it done the most efficient way, but it's on their timeline, not mine.
Right. I agree. I think that speaks to your level of customer service as well, which I know there are people who disagree with me on that, and that's okay. Run your business however you want.
Yeah, I got to do what's right for me and make sure that they, you know, feel validated but heard. But it also goes like I do look at their personality types as well and try to match that and make sure I'm meeting and exceeding what they're looking for.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. But I'd rather have blocked off enough time and end a meeting early.
and be at 100% when I'm there, like not feel drained and not feel distracted, like worried about getting somewhere, you know.
Yeah, I feel like the worst thing an agent can do while on a listing appointment with a new prospect is look at their watch or look at their phone. That's like if somebody did that to me, I'd be like, there's no way I'm hiring you. This is our first meeting. You're gonna do that in our first meeting, really? No, no. I did have somebody tell me to leave their house yesterday, 2 days ago, only because it was about to pour. It was about to just start, and it was starting to like thunder and lightning. and the rain was about to come. They were like, "You need to leave right now or you're gonna get caught in the rain." And I was like, "Okay, you're right, you're right." So that was kind of funny. They kicked me out of their house
But they kicked you out for a good reason because they
for a good
cared. At
reason.
first, I
Yeah.
was like, who would ever kick you out of their house?
No, no, no. It was just funny. It was so abrupt. We were like, "Oh shit, it's gonna rain." But it was cute. We're gonna work together. It's not a big deal. I love it. Lots of good thoughts. What else? Other suggestions or questions? Good. I want to look and see where we're headed next week. So next week we are working with buyers. So buyers are going to be more time consuming typically than sellers, not always, but usually. So we have some great strategies in this chapter for streamlining the buying process, specifically the looking at houses process. And yeah, and trying to make sure that you're maximizing your time and their time. Cool. Well, if we don't have any other thoughts or questions, I'll give you guys 10 minutes of your day back. And we'll see you here next week, same time, same place. Also, don't forget today we have our free monthly webinar with KW Wellness. So that'll be at 2 o'clock Eastern, right on the top of the hour. And we're talking about working and living with extroverts. So that'll be a really fun conversation.
Where can I find the link for that? Oh, is that what you just put in the chat?
Ina is awesome and just put it in the chat. Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. And it's through KW Wellness, but you don't have to be in that community. You don't even have to be with KW. Everyone can join.
Thank you, Ashley.
Thank you, Cheryl. Good to see you.
Thanks so much. And that was 2 p.m. Eastern. Okay,
2 p.m.
great.
Eastern, so in 40 minutes from now.
Excellent. Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.